these major, these restaurants, these fast food restaurants, they're gearing up, they're bracing themselves, they're bracing their customers for these higher prices. And this new minimum wage law is going to hurt these businesses. It's going to hurt the consumer, and it will hurt every single employee. But there's a way to fix this problem, this huge problem. Unfortunately, the greed of these corporations, these CEOs, these big restaurant businesses like McDonald's and Chipotle, profit over people.
So Kevin sent me this comment that he got on a McDonald's video. It says, I am no economist, but I feel if these places kept their prices lower and affordable, the sales would go through the roof. Problem there is, if they kept their prices low, but what they had to spend to get the stuff was high, then they're gonna go out of business. Their customers may be happy that it's cheap, but then their customers will be sad when they've gone out of business. According to this report by the National Restaurant Association, the average profit margin for fast food restaurants is around 5 to 8%. This means that for every dollar of sales, a restaurant earns 5 to 8 cents in profit. However, some fast food chains have profit margins as high as 20%. So 20 cents on a dollar as a high. Because here on the next thing, you've got McDonald's generated a total revenue. This is revenue. This is not profit. This is everything they sold. Total revenue of $25.49 billion US in 2023. In that year, when looking at McDonald's revenue by region, the country that generated the highest portion of revenue was, unsurprisingly to me, the United States, accounting for $10.38 billion US. I've said it numerous times, United States in general is a gluttonous country. We eat a lot of fast food stuff, we spend a lot of money on fast food stuff, and then we complain about being overweight and broke, even though sometimes we do it to ourselves. I am guilty of that personally. Now, McDonald's gross profit for the 12 months ending December 2023 was $14.563 billion, a 10.26% increase year over year. McDonald's annual gross profit for 2023 was $14.563 billion, which was a 10.2% increase, or 10.26% increase from 2022. McDonald's annual gross profit for 2022 was $13.207 billion, which was a 4.98% increase from 2021. Now, here's the thing. Their profits have doubled. We know that with inflation over the last couple of years, some places were gouging people, some places were doing what they needed to do in order to stay afloat and, you know, stay in business. The fact that they have more than doubled their profits from 2021 till now, percentage-wise, says a lot. A $1.3 billion increase from 2021 to end of 2023. So that tells you also that their costs were way higher. So you have to look at all of it.
But I do have a question for you. I've got a question for you. What is the profit margin between McDonald's 2023 revenues and McDonald's 2023 profit? How many cents per dollar did they earn?
I'm reading that their revenue was $25.49 billion. Their profit was, well, if the revenue was $25.49 billion and their profit was $14.5 billion, then they only spent $11 billion in bills and stuff.
So where's this 5 to 8 to 20% margin coming from?
That sounds more like
when they're clearing over 50%.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. So
even though the comment says I'm no economist, if they lowered their prices, their sales would probably go through the roof. Yeah,
their sales, technically, it doesn't matter if their sales are through the roof, their profits are through the roof.
But what matters more to them? And the question is, could they even afford to lower their price, which they would want you to think that they can't, because their margin is only 5 to 8%, but in actuality, their margin is probably over 50%.
Very true.
So what's really going on?
Well, you got to think the larger the chain, the better deals they get from their manufacturers, and you know, the more they can turn around and sell it for a profit. If you have one company that can buy 500,000 at one time versus one who can buy 2 million at one time, they're going to give a better deal to one who can do 2 million at one time, because it benefits them to get 2 million sales, you know, and then they turn around and sell it for way more.
So why are their prices so high?
Because everybody's prices are so high and they can get away with it. If people quit going, then they would be like, oh, I guess we're a little high here. Maybe we should lower this a little bit to get more feet through the door. But if people continue to spend the money, there's no reason for any of these companies to change what they're doing.